Welcome to Happiness by Habit, the podcast where we uncover habits and strategies for building joy, achieving personal growth, and balancing life's many roles. I am your host, Silvana Pimentel. I am so glad you are here with us today. Each week, we will dive into topics that inspire and empower, from personal development and productivity to parenting and career success. So grab a coffee or something stronger and let's craft a little more happiness into our lives. One day at a time. Let's get started. All right. Hello, and welcome back to Happiness by Habit, the podcast where we craft joy one day at a time. Today, we're diving into the transformative world of natural wellness with the incredible Ruthie Searcy. Ruthie is a trailblazer in helping professional women switch from the hustle of traditional lifestyle to a more natural, balanced way of living. Whether you're curious about clean living, looking to reduce stress, or want to explore how natural wellness can elevate your life, this conversation is for you. Let's explore the practical steps to embrace a more natural lifestyle without sacrificing success or joy. Welcome, Roti.
Well, thank you so much, Silvana. I'm happy to be here and a pleasure to speak with you and in front of your audience. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Ruthie, what inspired you to focus on natural wellness and how did your journey begin?
So in 2009, I got started down this road because my mother was having a lot of serious health issues with her heart and she's diabetic. Things compounded on top of each other. And so after several doctor visits, they had her on different medications, some of which did the same thing. And when I would ask the doctor, like, why does she have to be on more than one if they all do the same thing? I couldn't get a straight answer, right? He either could not or would not tell me information that I wanted to know. And so that just led me down this path of there's got to be a better way. And I started diving into the big, huge world of natural wellness to see where we could start with helping her get some changes going.
Yeah, fascinating. And tell us a little bit more about that journey. How did that take you from there to today?
Well, I mean, it's been a 15-year process. It's been a lot of research. I've probably done thousands of hours of research looking into different products, different programs, trying different things. And what we eventually settled on in 2016 was we got started with essential oils because that was the most easiest thing to start with first. And then as I got deeper into the essential oil community, I started learning more and implementing.
I see. Let's talk about how do you define the natural lifestyle, especially for busy professionals.
Yeah, so a natural lifestyle embraces everything. It's holistic, right? So we're handling our physical health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, and those are all interconnected with each other. So it's important that we take care of each one of those things all kind of at the same time, if that makes sense. It, you can focus on one of them, but then the other two don't get the attention they need sometimes. So it's important to do them all together.
And through your experience, what have been the biggest obstacles that the people you have helped with have run into?
Yeah. Until recently, I thought a lot of people just didn't understand that there was an alternative to a traditional lifestyle, right? Like that a natural lifestyle was even an option. But probably within the last 6 months or so, the women that I've been talking to, they're aware that there's a natural alternative, but they just don't necessarily know fully what that means or where to start, how to start.
That is the key. What would you suggest would be good beginners steps for these women looking for that?
Yeah, I teach people to, women especially, to start out with the small steps, right? There's no need to like overhaul the entire house right away. That could be overwhelming and a lot of money. So my three simple changes are just like first starting with changing the product they use as they run out of shampoo or laundry soap or certain snacks, whatever, right? Instead of buying those where they traditionally buy them, they can buy them from a natural wellness shop. There's ones that are in person, and there's also some that are online. That's one easy way to start. A second recommendation is to like take a look at their daily schedule. This is the emotional and spiritual part of it. Is that professional women are busy ladies, right? A lot of them are also handling households and kids, chores, and all the things. And so we sometimes forget to make time for ourselves. And as women in general, we like to help other people. And so sometimes we can overextend ourselves by saying yes to too many, right? Something else they get them started with. And then lastly, and probably the most important, is just being committed to making this change in this journey for you.
That is very important. Let's talk about, as you mentioned, people nowadays they don't have much time. So, what is a good strategy for time management and implementing this natural wellness philosophy into their lives?
So that's also one of the things I teach my clients. Almost where we start is to take a look at their schedules and see where they can maybe streamline those a little bit, because it is important that we make time for ourselves for one thing, and we make time for enough sleep, right? Like I'm guilty of this even still, even with all my expertise, I don't necessarily get to bed when I want to, right? And that means
That's a very important one. Going to sleep early, not trying to.
yeah. And it also means the next morning I don't get up early enough sometimes to get my workout in the way I want to, right? So it all cascades. And also when we're too busy, and I'm not saying that there's there's bit busy, right? Some of it's necessary and some of it is because we have business and that kind of thing. But if we get too involved or too overbooked, our anxiety raises, our stress levels raise, and that raises our cortisol levels, which doesn't help us with sleep. It affects our metabolism. Um, it's hard to just relax. So our time management is very important, just as important as our nutrition and our physical activity and all of those things.
Yes, and especially as you mentioned, time management is very important to consider the sleep hours because sleeping good night of sleeping with good 7 to 8 or 9 sleeping hours really makes our day, or the lack of the sleep also can definitely make a big impact to our day. So it's important. Absolutely. Do you want to share with us, Ruthie, any success story from one of your clients or personal story about how these changes have made a good impact in your life?
Yeah, I can share a success story. I'm going to read it because I knew I wouldn't remember what she said. Yeah. So one of my clients shared how she was initially skeptical about using essential oils as part of her wellness journey. She didn't know if they could really work until she gave them a try. And so now they are a regular part of her routine for occasional head tension, including migraine, hormonal swings, particularly managing hot flashes. And she mentioned to me that within minutes of using her oils, she always feels relief in both of them. And then lavender has become her favorite for calming stress and anxiety. And she also uses a respiratory blend and an immunity blend to help her with seasonal allergies. So, just hearing success stories, just little simple success stories like that, right, is a big part of why I love what I do.
Yeah, that's kind of the best part, that satisfaction of helping others, right? And to see that they are living better because of your advice or of your help.
Yes.
Very, very nice, Ruthie. Let's talk about the must-have tools. What are the top natural wellness tools you would recommend or resources for every woman?
Yeah, sure. I know I'm kind of like harping on essential oils quite a bit. And again, that's because it's the easiest place to start. They don't take a whole lot of investment or, special knowledge to get started with them. So those and a resource book that explains the different benefits of each kind of oil is great. My favorite book for that is The Essential Life from oillife.com. A quality diffuser is a great way to help change your environment. It can help create calming or uplifting environment. And it's really helpful for stress relief, sleep support, those kind of things. Magnesium supplement is a must-have for all women. Like, not negotiable. That's what I tell all my clients. We can't work together if you're not going to take magnesium. And that's because it supports our sleep, our muscle recovery, our stress management, all of those. Those areas are where many women need some extra support. And then finally, a journal or a planner, because again, that emotional and mental wellness are just as important as everything else.
Absolutely.
So journaling or planning time for self-care also helps reduce that stress.
Yeah, like in the airplane, when in case of emergency, the adults are expected to wear the mask before they help the kids or others, right? So we need to take good care of ourselves before helping anybody else.
Yes, and a lot of us are, even me sometimes still, like, I can feel myself getting overextended. I'm like, "Nope, gotta rein it back in."
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. You need to know your limits and take good care of yourself when you feel overwhelmed, stressed. Just stop, pause, relax, reset, and be back with more energy. Otherwise, it's not good for anybody.
Right? What do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup, right?
That's deep. That's good. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. So if our listeners take one thing from today's conversation, what would you hope it will be?
Well, we've kind of covered a lot, but I think the biggest takeaway I hope people get from this is that while adapting a natural lifestyle can kind of look overwhelming at first glance, it's really an attainable thing to do when you take it step by step. Um, yeah, more than anything else, that's where I really help someone start and continue on their journey.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to start somewhere and just making it. Just as long as we keep moving forward, is a good thing. Just a small habit that can make a difference. Speaking of habits, the title of this podcast is Happiness by Habit. So would you share with us one habit that makes your life happier?
Let's see, trying to think of what I do consistently.
Yes.
I start every morning with prayer, and for some other people that may look like meditation, whatever. For me, it's prayer, and just having that time with the Lord, and um, that's how I start my day positively. On the days that I miss it, I can tell it just in my overall positivity.
Yeah, that's a very very good advice. And let's talk about books. Do you love reading? I know you are always in the search of learning new things. Is there any specific book or author or somebody who has inspired you?
Yeah, I really like a book. It's called The Slight Edge, and it's by Jeff Olson. It's really an inspiring guide that he also emphasizes the power of small, consistent steps, right? which is what we're talking about here, habits, and doing them day after day. And pretty soon, you don't even realize that they're a new thing anymore, right? Because they become so ingrained into your life. Yeah. And when we do things intentionally like that, it turns into transformation that sometimes we don't even realize. We kind of look back and go, what happened?
Absolutely. Yes, becomes part of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why implementing good habits is a good thing. You can also go in that way and implementing bad habits, which is
Right.
something we definitely don't want. Oh, yes, absolutely. I like that one. Well, Ruthie, thank you so much for sharing your insights and practical advice on embracing natural wellness. It's inspiring to see small intentional changes can make a difference. I really appreciate it. And to our listeners, I hope today's episode encourage you to take the first step towards a healthier, more natural lifestyle. Ruthie, before we go, how can our listeners learn more about you and what you do?
The easiest place is my website, which is Everyday Essential.
Okay, everyday essentials that if, and we will make sure to put it here on the podcast so they can actually just check it out. Thank you so much again, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to Happiness by Habit. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with someone who could use a little extra joy in their day. Remember, happiness isn't just a destination, it's a habit we can create every day. Until next time, stay positive, stay curious, and keep building your joy one step at a time. Nos vemos!